Guys, let's make a video about high notes, since that is a subject that of course interests everybody. And there's a good reason for that also, because let's be honest, all the good songs seem to be a little bit higher than we can exactly sing. And the reason for that is they tend to have some notes that are located above your register break. And the register break, at least the most important register break, so to speak, it's located kind of mid-high, I would say, in kind of pitch-wise. So it's not quite the high notes area, but not actually the low notes either. You can sing quite high, let's say medium-high, without kind of passing your register break. But when you get at the area of the register break, then all the problems usually come. And there are many ways to describe register breaks. We could go very scientific about those, but I don't necessarily find that very useful if we talk about learning to deal with the register break. Some schools of singing stress the role of register break more, and some less. And also there are different tools of like getting past it. And so, for instance, you have probably seen these lip rill exercises that let you go kind of smoothly to the higher part of your, or let's say above the register break. And there are several others as well. Anyways, I want to give you this thought, this idea, which might be a little bit unique, and but I think that this again might be a useful way of thinking it for many of you who have struggled with register break and haven't found kind of answer for it from the several exercises that are available, let's say, in YouTube. Okay, one way to think about the register break could be that you could think about them as being just kind of being a pitch range that is not as efficient for your voice as the lower pitch levels. When we get above a certain pitch level, actually we kind of lose some efficiency from an instrument, so we have to sing everything more exact. And if we look at this from the lens of what we have been doing here, that basically means that you have to polish your starting of the note even better. If you have struggled, if you're doing some extra unneeded stuff in the start of the note, that will probably cause you some unwanted tension here that will make things a lot more difficult. That's also when you, let's say we have a melody going higher. This goes above just across my register break area. Everybody loves somebody. Let's take one more time. It's kind of morning. Everybody loves somebody. You have to have the ability to sing each beginning of the note on that melody very precisely. If you mess up some stuff, you tend to get immediately some of this and then it's very hard to get anywhere. You might be even able to execute the couple of the first of the notes by pushing more, but the problem with that is when you take more energy from the lungs instead of having exact settings throughout your instrument, you will start building up the tension that will mess up things in the long run. So when you practice like phrases that go from lower to higher, which are always difficult, you need to understand that the very first note, the beginning of it, matters a whole lot. If you don't sing that well, it's very hard to maintain the quality or get the quality in the middle of the phrase. But that doesn't mean that you can take rest. You can rest during the rest of the notes. You also have to concentrate on singing each beginning of each vowel on that melody as perfectly as possible. Again, we are not machines, we are human, we're not always perfect, but when you practice this stuff and you get better and better, then your kind of margin of error in your singing gets a little bit smaller, and the average success rate of your singing the notes gets higher. Then you are all the time able to sing more and more with more and more success, also the high notes. When you have a bad day, you might struggle a little bit more with difficult songs, but as you are good enough, even when you are on a gig singing songs to audiences, you still, even though you're not singing at your best level, you're still being quite good enough for people to enjoy your singing. So for me, the main key advice for high notes is make your basic vocal technique as good as possible. Meaning the inhaling, think about it as letting go the tension and then adding the support. This will give you the foundation for being able to maintain enough relaxed to achieve the high notes. And then when you polish the starting or the beginnings of the notes, then you increase your success rate, and you make sure that you don't get tension too much when you sing the phrases. I often say that singing is a kind of the type of sport where you need a lot of speed, and this again is true especially in high notes. As I mentioned, lower you can get by not being that fast. You might get decent notes even though you are a little bit slow in the start. You sliding and that kind of stuff. But higher you have to have the ability to, it's pretty high already, A4, very quickly. Not perfect, still a bit of a slide, but since I have practiced this, it's kind of good enough for me to get the note. Yeah. So that sort of thing, that kind of the basic vocal technique that we have been doing so far helps you to also to deal with the register break and higher notes without kind of thinking about these different kind of advanced strategies as mixed voice and belting, which can be seen as kind of different kind of advanced. At least I think about it a little bit like advanced tools that will give you some extra benefit of singing the high notes. But relying only into the idea of these type of or type of approaches that might make your singing of the high notes a little bit, maybe, in my opinion, too mechanic, and you might always have, when you rely too much on those things, you will kind of sound all the time as you would be singing by making some type of voice exercise or some kind of extra tool for achieving those notes. Your high notes might not get as free sounding and as natural as possible. So I highly recommend that you build up your basic technique, and not necessarily saying that you have to do that before you experience with mixed voice and belting, but I would highly recommend that you build the basic technique because that will also help you to kind of get more freedom to your mixed voice or belting or whatever approach you are using. Okay, thanks for watching again, and have a happy training, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.